Okay, so some of you may be wondering about how I get that view in X-Plane. And so we're going to talk about that and how I actually get that view in X-Plane. And we're going to start by understanding, and I think the dog is going to say goodbye. So we'll see ya. That was fun. Ella loves to be in the videos. Every now and then she does a little video bomb. But basically, if we look at the default view of the X-Plane, now this is X-Plane, excuse me, look at the default view of the G1000 Cessna 172 in X-Plane 11.31. So this is just released to the market, and effectively this is the default view. Now I want to show you how I get to this view and what I do to get there, and there are a few keyboard shortcuts on how to get there as well, right? So the idea here is you'd have your Slavix Tabletop Avionics panel. You'd probably raise your monitor height a little bit to bring it up above the panel, but then you don't really need to see any of these things because you don't need to be clicking them as you have all your instruments right in front of you with the G1000. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come up here to the menu bar, and the menu bar is going to be here with these three sliders there. And you're going to go over to the graphics setting. Now, when you look at the graphics setting, you see a lot of visual settings up here. Basically, you want to go down to this field of view, and it's lateral field of view. So if I go ahead and reset the lateral field of view to default, which is 60 degrees, and push done, you'll see that I don't really see a lot around the cockpit. It's not very immersive, and it's really just a panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into those settings, and I'm actually going to change that to 105 degrees field of view. Okay, so that's right here, 105. There's also a slider that you can use if you want to kind of feel it a little bit in the background, kind of what you recommend, but I recommend 105. Now, when you look at this, it's quite a bit more immersive, and you can actually see more around you. Now, there's a few keyboard buttons to push to move forward, to move back in the current view based on what you're looking at. So based on what we're looking at here, you can actually push up, you can push down, left, and right just using the arrow keys. Pretty traditional. And then you can push the period key to move forward and the comma key to move back. So if you were to move forward and you like the view kind of where you're at here, once you have this view established, if you don't want to go back into X-Plane all the time and go redo that view, and you just want to start there when you load up your plane and have one keyboard shortcut to do that, you can do that with a keyboard with the number pad here and with the num lock on. And what you do is you're actually allowed to be able to use Control plus keys 1 through 9. Those can all be bound to a new view. And so what you do is you push Control, you hold Control, and for example, I'll push Control 1. And that's now going to be locked on this view. Now if I were to take my mouse and maybe I want to move around and I want to move to a different view, and I can also use the keyboard, perhaps I like this view here, kind of out the wing, overlooking at the wing, maybe I want to look at the flaps. I could save this view as Control 2. Now let's say I want to go ahead and look at the back of the plane, perhaps maybe on my departure, and want to see how in alignment I am with the runway, if I'm maybe drifting one way or another from the wind, and I could set this as Control 3, for example. And lastly, I can go ahead and maybe look at this corner here, and we'll set that as Control 9. So you can really understand, you can start to create this map around here, and all you have to do now actually is just push that number pad button that you set it to with Control plus the number pad. So that was 1, this was 2, that was 3, and there was 9, for example, right? So that's how you do it very simply. So effectively, you could load up X-Plane, you load up your aircraft, you just have to hit number pad 1, and you'd be right in this view. You can once again assign that anywhere 1 through 9, but that's how I get that X-Plane view that you see maybe in some of our pictures with the Slavix Tabletop Avionics panel. It's pretty simple. This is X-Plane, default aircraft. You can also look online. There's quite a few different kind of root folders that all these views are saved in and whatnot, but I think you kind of understand with us, we're trying to make this as simple as possible, where you don't actually need to go into any file directories and edit anything. This was us just loading up the plane and assigning these views with this new key binding, Control 1 through 9, depending on once we get the view where we want it. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment below. and we'll see you guys. Stay level.